All right, guys. So, welcome back to part 2 of Boys Will Be Boys. We are going to continue the conversation that we were having last week. I hope you're enjoying this so far. We are having too much fun with these episodes. So, stay tuned for the continuation of argument styles, relationship styles, all the advice from the boys. All right, we are back with another episode. I love these guys. We have Stephen and Paul. We ran out of time last week, so we have them back for the continuation of questions that we have. We ended last week with communication, and we were talking about like communication versus listening, which is the better style. We both agree, or all three of us agree, that it's a give and take on both. You have to communicate. You also have to listen. And so we're going to continue the communication conversation with argument styles. We had a conversation earlier. I've referenced Jay Shetty a lot. Do you feel that argument styles matter with love languages? Like, everyone's so concerned with love languages. Like, what is your love language? Because I think that if my love language is, what is one of them? Like, acts of...
It's like touch,
acts of service. Yeah. What is the other ones? I'm trying to think. Because I'm more of a... Am I an acts of service person? Like, I like to give...
I would say so.
Okay, so...
Yeah, because...
I like to, like, make people happy, so I like to do things, buy things.
Yeah, because the touch thing is not your thing. It's like you can care less about the touch.
Right, like, I like to just make people happy. So we all love how we want to be loved. And so if I give you things, people... I don't fucking know how that works. But anyways, Jay Shetty says that love languages, it's not that it doesn't matter, but you should be more thoughtful on argument languages, argument styles. So he has 3 different argument styles. He talks about the exploder, the hider, and the venter. So he gives reference to his marriage. He says that he's a venter. He wants to talk about it right then. He wants to talk about. And his wife is a hider. She likes to hide for like 48 hours and not talk or whatever for 48 hours. So they compromised and said that he doesn't have to talk about the situation right away and she can't hide for 48 hours. So they made a compromise of like 12 to 24 hours or whatever.
That's great.
All right. So the 5 love languages are words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, physical touch. I thought for a while mine was quality time, and it is. I think I'm mixed between a couple of, I love people giving me their time because I think that as I get older, time is valuable, especially when we're doing all kinds of shit. Like, we're all invested.
Everyone's busy.
We're all invested in different shit. So
I guess it depends on your definition of time, right?
Right. So quality time is mine, but also I love acts of service because for me and how I give it to other people, I love to just be there for people and put in effort. Effort to me, effort and time are my love languages. But that's where people disconnect because we give love how we think we want to receive it. And if I want to receive time and acts of service, and that's how I'm giving it, maybe your love language, Stephen, is physical touch. And I'm giving you time and you're just like, well, I don't feel loved because you want that hand holding, you want that kiss, you want that physical touch. And I'm not giving that to you because I'm loving you how I want to be loved. That's off a tangent. We're talking about argument styles.
I know. Amen, sister.
So, Stephen, what kind of argument style do you feel like you are?
Oh, man. Yeah, that's pretty tough. So, first off, I hate arguing.
Yeah, you do.
I hate it because in my eyes, it's always that everyone in an argument is going to try to prove their point no matter what. And then when you get into an argument, everyone's angry. So when you're angry, you're trying to prove your point, you're not going to listen to anybody else. So my argument style is always to shut down.
Oh, you're a shutdowner. You're a hider.
Well, I say a hider because it's the only reason why I'm a hider. Is a hider is that.
Do you need to give yourself time to self-reflect?
Nope. So here's the kicker. Here's the reason why. And this is the reason why I'm a hider. And this totally selfish, and then I guarantee you it's probably going to cause an uproar. I believe that I can understand more people than they can understand me.
Okay.
Right? So I will shut down, let them have their spiel, and I will take that in, absorb it, and then have a response.
Okay.
Only reason I do that because it's like, well, I have a feeling that if I argue with you, it's going to be the same thing over and over and over again. So it's like, all right, give me your spill. Let me process it.
So, well, that's a hider. You get the spill, and you have to go away for however long.
Well, I don't go away. I don't go away. It's just,
going away can mean literally sitting on opposite ends of the couch. Going away doesn't mean you have to fucking leave the country.
It's like
you're checking out.
Right, you're checking out for however long.
Am I checking out for 10 or 15 seconds? Is that me going away? Guess what?
I would think
what I do.
of the three, you would be a hider because you're not an exploder and you're not a venter.
Well, guess what I do? Like I said, I take it in and I will.
You need to process.
I process it. It's real time.
And regurgitate it.
It within what? Not like next day or anything like that. It's like the same day. That's
every single time.
Yeah, it depends on the level.
Depends on what you're arguing about.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So
like the seriousness of it.
Hey, let me put it this way. Sorry.
What are we having for dinner?
Exactly. Let me put it this way.
First of all, we're just literally claiming what we are.
99% of my arguments when I have are I'll take it in, I will process it, and I'll regurgitate what my feelings are at a later time. And the later time is within 30 minutes or so.
Well, that's good. You're not a 24, 48 hour.
That 1% is when it gets very, very deep. Those are the ones where I struggle to respond to. And then me personally, I kind of shy. I shy away from conflict because I hate conflict. I've always been.
No one loves it.
I hate it, and I never want to make people feel bad. So I always try to. It's something I know for a fact. Hey, I guess I'm telling myself, right? Because
go ahead.
If you say something to me, and I don't
podcasting
respond,
is therapeutic. Go
I know,
ahead,
right?
boy.
If you say something to me, and I don't say something to you right then and there, or within that same day, it's the next day type thing. It's that I had to process it and try to think of the nice way to say that I dislike that. Because if I don't respond to you right then and there, I'm pretty sure I'm trying to think of a very, very, very nice way to say no, or the opposite of what you're saying. So, but that's just me. That's
okay.
just me.
So, Pop, what kind of style are you argumentatively? Are you a venter, exploder, or hider?
Hey, before you go.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what does that make me?
You're a hider. You're a hider.
I'm still a hider.
Whether it be 30 minutes, you're a hider because you would need to process, and that's fine.
I sound like a bitch.
No. You just need to process. I'm a venter and or exploder.
Anyways.
It's not a bad thing. You need to take a minute to yourself to process the situation, and there's nothing wrong with that. I wish sometimes I could do that before I say shit that I don't mean. Or I'll say something in the moment because I'm a fucking exploder sometimes, and I'm like, fuck you, fuck this situation, fuck you. So I'm an exploder in that sense, and then sometimes I'm a venter where I'm like, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this now. We got to talk about everything. All my feelings now. That can be too much sometimes. So, Pop, what are you?
Well, amen, sister. that was my point. That was my therapy session.
I would say.
Sometimes I wish I were a hider so I can be like, let me take that in. Let me go process, and I'll come back to you.
I would say I'm a venter. Like, I don't dislike conflict. I'm not saying that I go looking for it, obviously.
Right.
Because you guys know I'm pretty mild-mannered, and it's got to be super serious to get me to, 100.
You're very chill.
So
very chill.
If there's a discussion to be had and, we want to discuss whatever, I'm going to, like you said, Steve, okay, so you said this, that, and the other, right? I'm going to repeat it back to you. I'm like, okay, well, I'm feeling this way because of you said this, so I took it this way.
So do you want to talk about it then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a venter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to deal with it right then and there.
Right now. You don't need to go process.
Right.
Okay.
But I will be an exploder if we have the same conversation.
Right.
10 times over. I'm like, damn, what we discussed.
I
this
just
last
motherfucking
week.
said
Right.
this. Okay.
I'm sick and tired of talking about this shit. Like that.
I got you. I feel you. Okay.
But I also feel like those three venting traits depend on our company too.
Right. It depends on the
tough.
person and the
It's tough.
conversation.
It's tough.
So-
'cause-
Steven, you've been an exploder on me in a friendship.
oh yeah. Oh,
when
yeah,
you're
for
like,
sure.
motherfucker, I've done told you.
And Jonna, you've been there when I exploded on other girls or women at that time too. That I was in a relationship with, and it was a explosion. It's like, oh my
Right.
gosh.
But it was a building factor.
So what does that define me as though?
I think
building factor.
I think that you need time to self-reflect, which is a good thing.
No, yeah.
That's a good thing. I think that people who can literally be like, I'm going to take this in, because when people are exploders or venters, sometimes we say shit that we should not say. Sometimes we are like, fuck you, motherfucker. You're a fucking piece of shit.
And I have been there. That's the
And
kicker.
you don't
That's
want
the
to, and you
kicker.
don't want
I
to be
have
that,
been
and
there.
you
it
don't want to be
sucks.
that
And it sucks.
because you're like, I need a minute to process what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And sometimes I wish I were that way so that I don't say shit I regret.
Hey, you know why that is? What? You know
Your
why
mom?
that is? Huh?
Your mom?
No. You know why that people should just sit there and process that. And this
No, I wish it
You
was
might
me.
say some shit that you regret later.
what that, or you're gonna ruin some stuff. You're gonna ruin a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, when you do
I'm
that,
one of
you
those.
ruin a lot of things, right? I mean, I've been in a situation where I exploded, and I could never ever recover from that. Yes, I have.
I'm one of those like, hey, that's not what you said when
Or
when
you
But I
said
think that's
this
men
about
because-
me,
or you reciprocated it,
Yeah.
right? You
So-
received that. You were like, hey, no,
But that goes back to, this is a whole different conversation, but like women who vent to their girlfriends about their men or whatever's going on in their life. I think women need to do a better job about venting, because we vent to our women and are like, fuck this motherfucker, they did
Yes.
this. And then 2 weeks later, we're like, oh, by the way, we're back with them.
yeah. So
And the girls are like, excuse the fuck out of me?
yeah. So what's the harm into venting to your girls and venting to the same way to your guy? What's the harm? You're gonna lose that relationship.
The difference is the girls are not going to respect your relationship.
Huh?
The girls are not going to respect the relationship if you continuously vent about the same thing.
No, I mean, vent to the girls as the same way you would vent to your guy.
But see, a lot of women don't do that because they're just not real with themselves.
I mean, do the same thing that you would do, right? Because it's the same thing as if that, hey, you text your boys, right? You're texting your boys constantly, right?
Do y'all text your boys constantly like that? Is that a thing? And do y'all talk about deep shit, or do you just like, oh, that?
Definitely not that.
I'm just like,
definitely
that was
not
the first thing that came to my mind.
Nope. I think Jonna has fuckboy tendencies, everyone.
Probably.
I think so
Um,
too.
But I'm just like, what? Like, are y'all like, hey,
FYI,
would you hit
if
this?
you want to date Jonna Grimes, please call.
Okay.
If you are a fuckboy.
First of all, I'm just like, that's the first thing that came to mind. I think like, are you thinking that? Like, do you
Nope.
text your boys like,
Nope.
this
Nope.
girl's so
nope,
good?
nope.
What's you
nope,
texting your boys
nope,
when you leave
nope.
someone after you hook up?
I will. What? After you hook up?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Well,
I'm in love.
For me personally, I ain't gonna lie. Not about pop. For me personally, it's been a very long time. But even then, I didn't text anybody after that. I swear to you, I did not text anybody after that. Said, "Oh, this is so good," or "This is so bad," or "Yeah, I just hit that," or anything like that. It was just like, "Hey, what you guys doing?" Straight up. Straight up.
That's good. That's good to know. That's good to know.
I've always been that way. Always been that way with the relationship or not relationship. Is that why? Why does anyone need to know that if it was good or not good or what happened during that situation? It's like, all right, well, yeah, they knew
We had
I
a
was
good
with
time.
that person. They knew
Pop,
I
Pop,
was
what do
with
you
that
do?
person.
What do you do,
Like,
Pop?
I'm like, we had a good time.
Would
All right, so
I feel
moving
like
on to situationships.
situationship.
Yeah, situationships. And versus dating with intention. And me and Steven got into a heated debate earlier about dating with intention. Do you feel, and I follow Ace Metaphor, you've heard the podcast before where I talk about him saying that you should go into your first date. Men and women should ready themselves before a date. You should know what you want on the date. Is your intention on this date to be something serious, or is it to hook up? And that is fine if you want either or, but you should know that going in. You should also tell that person going in. If I'm hooking up and I don't want any relationship and I don't want anything serious, you don't know what that other person has been through. Did that person just go through a divorce? Are they looking for something serious? Are they looking for a relationship? You don't know that. So why not go into the relationship and say, what's your intentions? And if someone asks you that question, it could just be a simple question, and someone says, hey, my intentions are to find a relationship. My intentions are to hook up. I don't want anything serious. I just got out of a divorce. I don't want seriousness. That is okay. But I think that first date, defining that intention matters, because I think females, more so than males, get attached. But you may be going through divorce and you're like, I don't fucking want anything serious. I just want to feel like me. I just want to feel free. I just want to feel fun. I just want to. But if someone tells you, yeah, cool, my intentions are a relationship, and you pursue that bitch and your intentions are dating and hooking up and having sex, you're an asshole. You're an asshole.
I think those. I kind of disagree with you.
Okay.
I think.
Which parts? Actually.
Well, I think that those, we'll just call it ground rules, right? Need to be communicated before you even go on the first date.
Okay.
Like, I'm not going to take a girl out on a date that she's like, I'm looking for something serious if I'm not looking for it, because I'm not trying to waste your time. I don't want nobody to waste my time.
Right.
So I'm not trying to do that to you,
So then you agree with me, actually, not disagree.
Time out. No. Do you really have to say that, hey, when you go into a relationship on your very first date, saying that, hey, I'm looking for something serious, or I'm looking for just get it in? No, you don't have to say that.
You don't have to say it, but I think that there has to be conversation around it.
No. Why?
Stephen. Okay.
Why?
Because
First date?
if I'm looking for a romantic partner, I'm looking for marriage. I'm not saying the first date I'm looking for you, but take it aside.
Okay.
I'm looking for romance. I'm looking for marriage. And you're like, I don't want fucking romance. I don't want fucking marriage. I want to fucking hook up with all the fucking bitches I can fucking hook up with.
Are you saying that first date?
First date, are you like, if someone says, yes, Steven, I want to be married. That is my goal. And you know that you don't want to be married. Are you not going to communicate that?
Sorry, Paul. I got to chime in. I got to chime in. So what I say to that aspect is that you cannot make all those assumptions very first date.
You're not taking what I'm saying into consideration.
I am.
No, you're not. If you're going into the first date saying, I do not want this.
Who goes into a date like that? That's my kicker. Who goes into a date like that?
A lot of fucking people.
There's no sane individual who would go into a date that's saying that fuck everything, fuck all this shit.
You're taking
I'm looking to get it in.
so the problem
Guess
with
what?
Steven is that he thinks about the big picture. He's like, there's multiple aspects. I'm talking, Steven, dumb yourself down.
Okay.
You are very intellectual, so dumb yourself down.
I'm dumbing myself down. I'm sorry.
We're talking about someone who wants a relationship,
Okay.
and someone who does not.
Okay.
If you know going into a relationship, I do
All right,
not
so,
want.
okay.
No. Listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
People go into relationships going, I've been married. I don't fucking want that shit again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it. Period. End of story. Don't want it. And then someone says, I want a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Someone says, I want to be married. I've never been married.
Mm-hmm.
you're still going to go into that relationship going, well, I didn't fucking know what I wanted. I didn't fucking know.
Okay.
If she's not looking for marriage, I'm not trying to waste your time. If I'm looking
Thank
for
you,
marriage,
Pop. Pop and me are on the same page.
Okay.
Me and Pop are on the same
And
page.
that's just what you got to break it down to those certain criteria.
I'm just saying, like, if I'm talking about intention. What is your fucking intention going into this relationship?
It's never going to be that cut and dry is what I'm trying to say. It's never going to be that cut and dry, right? Is it? Is it really?
We're older. I'm 35. How old are you?
38.
Okay, you're 38. You're married.
Yeah. So I guarantee you, look at me. I promise you that if I was going to a relationship and dating somebody, or when I was going to any dates, my whole intentions to dating were that, hey, I'm dating for the long term. I'm not dating for the short term.
But that's you. You're thinking how you.
So
I'm talking about when people are having two opposing. Pretend you're not you. Pretend you're like, I don't want a relationship. Is it feasible to tell that person?
Yeah. So why would you date then? So
right.
What's your definition of date at that point?
I'm saying.
What's your definition of date?
Some people want to go on dates to not be lonely. Some people want to hook up. Some
do
people.
What? I mean, what are you gonna do on a date? So what's your definition of a date? I mean,
some men will take women on dates to fucking hook up.
But you just said their whole intentions were not to do anything.
Right. Their intention was to not be with you, but they were to fucking hook up. That was their intention.
At the same time, why did the woman hook up with them?
I'm done with you, Steven. Okay. Pop, do you want to have the conversation?
Answer the question. Why did the woman hook up with him? If the guy's intention
I'm saying the intentions were not set at the beginning.
I understand.
Do you?
I totally understand.
Pop, I think you're understanding more than Steven. What am I saying, Pop? What am I saying?
Chime in, Pop. Please chime in.
Like I said, I want to know before we go on that first date, are you leaning more towards
why
road A, road B?
Because it matters. It fucking matters, Steven.
In what platform? In where?
My fucking feelings. Your fucking feelings.
Hold on. How do you meet this person on their first date?
I don't know. Fucking dating app.
Okay. What is a mutual friend?
Or DMs.
What if it's a mutual friend?
Fuck you.
What if it's a mutual friend? What if it's like you said? What if it's a DM? What if it's just a grocery store bump in the shoulder type thing? I mean, how do you know? You cannot define that shit day one.
Okay, you're taking it seriously, like as if I.
How should I not?
Hold up,
You're coming from a different scenario.
Right.
I get what
you're
saying,
coming from like, how do I know if I want to be married to you? I'm saying like, if your intention going into a date, listen, look at me.
If we're having
conversation, casual, we're casual, and I'm like, what's your intention? And you know for a fact, I don't want this right now. I don't.
Okay,
and I want a fucking marriage right now. You should say we're not compatible.
Is this pre-date or post-date or during date? That's the key.
Okay, we're gonna move on because this is getting heated.
No, this is good stuff right here.
Yeah.
No, so what is that? So what you say that? Are you saying that during a date or pre-date?
During. Let's say we bring it up during, and you say, "What's your intention?" Or I'll say, "What's your intention?"
During is a different situation.
Is
right?
it?
Yes, it is. Because I had no idea what your thoughts were
right.
to a date.
I'm not saying you should not show up for a date. I'm saying like if we have this conversation,
and that's my point. I guess that's
on
where
a
we got
date.
Confused. I guess that's what we got confused on.
If I bring, let's say I say, "Hey, Steven, so what's your intention with me? What's your intention with this situation?"
Okay, so that's where there we go. We found a mutual ground. So that's where we got confused on, right? So my thing was that I had no idea.
Right, we're not talking about pre. We're not talking about pre.
No, going on to the date. So you're talking about on a date.
Or if you okay.
So here.
Let me just preface this. Let me just preface this.
Hold on.
I get on dating apps.
Okay.
And men put in their profile.
Okay.
I'm ready for a relationship.
Okay.
We get on the date.
Yep.
Totally.
Very obvious that they're not ready for a fucking relationship.
Okay. So
very obvious.
There we go. That's where we differ.
And we're like, so what's your intentions? And they're like, oh, just to have fun.
There's the difference.
Just to have fun. And I'm like,
And ladies,
I'm
that's
looking-
when you stop talking to that motherfucker.
And Jonna.
And then we can't because we're attached.
And Jonna, that's the difference what I was talking about. So my impression was that I just first meet you. I have no idea. Yes. In my brain, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be in a
Steven, you've
relationship.
also been off the dating market for a while, so people do this shit now.
So
there's that.
But do you understand where I'm coming from now?
Right, I do.
You were kind of just saying like, "Hey, I just met you. Look, we're going on a
We
date."
don't know.
Yes.
We don't know what we
and
want.
we're trying to
We-
figure out the common
And
ground.
you're talking
But
about we're on the date.
I'm talking about people are like on dating apps, and my profile
So-
says I want a relationship, and their profile says I want a relationship, and then we go on the
Good.
date, and they're like, first of all, I don't want a relationship. I'm like, why are you on a motherfucking dating
Good.
app if you don't want a relationship?
Now we're all seeing eye to eye. That's probably my bad. I apologize.
No, we're
for-
talking about dating 2023. I know you're married, so you don't get it.
It took me a minute to get there, but I was like, oh
Like I
my
said,
Yeah,
me
no,
and
no,
Paul-
I knew what you were saying though, Steve.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. Like, how would I know if I want to date you or not?
everybody. This is
Like,
how
but
you
We're talking
communicate.
about nowadays pre-marriage,
Understand.
post-marriage,
Understand.
pre-marriage.
Understand. Sorry.
So that's what we're talking about. Like if you're on a date,
Okay.
let's just pretend you and Rachel get a divorce. I'm not wishing ill upon you. Let's pretend that.
Yeah.
If you get on a dating app tomorrow, you just got divorced, and your intention is, I just don't want to be alone. I just don't. I'm going through a divorce. I don't want another serious shit. But a girl's intention is to be serious. That needs to be had.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Day one. Otherwise,
sure.
you're gonna have fucking so many arguments.
For sure. I totally.
Okay, so
100%.
now we're on the same page.
Yes. Yeah. There we go. There we go.
There we go. Let's put it into situations you understand. For the married man.
Sorry, guys. Sorry,
Sorry,
everybody.
guys. He's been married how many years?
5.
So
It will be 5 coming up.
So he's off the social market, so he doesn't understand what we were talking about.
Yes. Sorry, lady.
All right, moving on. So we're gonna move into some more questions. This is another question. What smell do you love from a woman, perfume wise? Is it like a floral? Is it a vanilla? What is the smell that when like you smell, you're like, I love that. Like perfume wise, spritz wise.
See, that's tough for me because, we all have different pH balances or whatever, right?
Right.
So different scents smell different, on,
Right.
different people, right? I mean, there's, I guess everyone has like a certain scent that reminds you of somebody, right?
Right.
There's Gucci perfume makes me think about somebody.
Oh, so you love Gucci perfume. Okay.
I mean, on her, it was.
So what is Gucci perfume? Is it floral? Is it vanilla? Is it floral notes? What do we? I don't know perfumes. I just do Love Spell from Victoria's Secret.
Legit, I was gonna say every
That's what I
dude out
do.
there loves Love Spell. On a
Do
girl.
they?
Like, yeah. Oh yeah. That's like one of those
It's so toxic.
goes. Yeah.
The chemical is so toxic. I don't know if it's toxic for men,
Maybe
but
that's what's fucking
it's the
up-
chemical. It's toxic. Do you have a significant smell, Steven, that you love in women, like floral, vanilla? Is there a perfume?
Lavender.
Lavender. Is there like I love Spell.
Cinnamon. No, I'm joking. No, like
Spicy motherfucker over here.
I know, right?
He loves
Honestly-
bourbon, so that's why.
What?
Well, in that case, if I love bourbon, I love bourbon rye. If I love rye, I love spicy smells. Therefore, I love the cinnamon and nutmeg and ginger. But anyways, no. I mean, there's no.
Is it just like that smells nice? Like you don't know, but
Well,
like until you know, it's like I don't
so-
know until I know.
So I guess it's weird because as you get older, you kind of change, right? And when I was in high school, it was all about the smells, right? And Jonna, you may know this too when you're in high school. Is that, I mean, if you wore Armani or like the
Yeah, I love
Polo
Armani
cologne,
for men. Yeah.
all those type of
Right,
cologne
yeah.
smells, and I'm not sure what it was for
Usher,
woman.
Armani.
Yeah.
Love Spell is what we were talking about. That was the scent.
See, in my eyes now, those smells don't even exist.
Okay.
So
there's
so
not
weird.
a significant.
Yeah. It's,
Okay,
it's
so
gone. It's gone.
insignificant.
But aren't there like certain perfumes that you smell that were on like different girls? You're like, oh shit, that reminds me of such and such.
I mean, maybe. It's like.
I know it has for me.
It's like you take a sip, you're like, I smelled that before. I was like, oh.
All right, moving on. When is sex too soon? Is there ever a moment like first date, second date, 6 months from the first date? When is sex too soon? Not too soon? Sex in a relationship, situationship, either or. It's like I feel like women get caught
weird.
up on this. Like
weird.
I can't have sex too soon, but I think that people who have sex the first date get married. People who wait to have sex don't get married. Like there's not a perfect time.
There's no perfect equation.
You know what?
Do you care? Like if you had sex with a person the first date, would you be like, she's too easy?
Okay.
We're in the Q&As right now. We're in the Q&As.
To me personally, it's hit or miss, right? It's hit or miss. It's like I mean, you can have this connection for this person on this first date. You're like, dang, man, she's fine. I mean, she's clicking on all cylinders. You hook up, and then you actually start, hanging out with her. You're like, oh man, she kind of sucks.
Okay.
And it's like, oh well, screw her. And then next thing you know, you start hanging. You get, I don't want to say trapped or forced into dating somebody. You're like, oh well, I guess I'll hang out with her. Man, she's not giving it up, but let me hang out with her a little bit. She seems pretty cool. Hang out with her, like, all right, man, she's actually pretty awesome. And then she gets along with my friends, and then next thing you know, 6 days later, you finally hook up with her. We're like, oh,
so it's different. Okay.
Yeah, I think it depends on the girl, right?
Right. Or in the situation,
or your how you perceive her to be,
okay.
Right? Because, I mean, some girls, not all girls are gonna give it up first date.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. I don't care how smooth, how suave you are. Not all girls are gonna get on the first date.
Right.
Maybe. I may be mistaken. She just kind of choked on her drink on that one. But yeah, that's my personal opinion. So.
All right, Pop.
For me personally, I don't. Not on the first date because I want to get to know you more. Like,
okay.
It's because I know it's an emotional attachment for you.
So if someone hooks up with you first date, are you out? Are you like, wow, that was too easy?
I'm not out, but it would make me question, like, damn, if you gave it to me, like, what would you do with somebody else? Like,
so that's where I come into question, like, what about you? Are you doing that? That's the gender roles, right?
No,
like
I haven't.
I'm just saying, like, no girl is going, well, he gave it up to me, so was he giving up to someone else?
But I'm as society says, you guys are the prize that we're trying to win.
Okay, so anyways, next question.
Boy, shot that one down.
Gender roles. We're going to transition into gender roles. Do you feel like there's gender roles in a relationship? Do you feel like women should clean, cook, be the fucking porn star?
Hell no. Hell no. Hey, I'll straight up say that because I'm married. Hell no.
Okay.
Hell no.
So your wife puts in whatever.
Dude, everyone should know their place before you get married or in a relationship. In my standpoint, I love pleasing a woman, and if it takes for me to just do the dishes or cooking, hey, when it comes to cooking, I love cooking.
Right.
So she's not gonna cook. So laundry is one of those. I think laundry is the biggest misconception.
You should do it. I should do it. Yeah.
It's like, who's gonna fold this laundry today?
Okay.
So got to switch that one to me. But when it comes to like chores or anything like that, you gotta know your place.
Right.
Everyone has their thing that they love to do, but there should not be that notion that women needs to cook and clean.
The problem with women is you start off strong, like, I'm going to do all this for my man. I'm going to cook. I'm going to clean. I'm going to put away all the shit. But you set boundaries, right? Like if you put that out there it's an expectation at that point. So stop fucking putting it out there.
Or-
Stop doing shit you don't want to do just to please someone or turn someone on. Like
That's
And when you
very
say
that's what I'm
solid
saying.
point.
Like that's a female's problem,
Yeah, and
right?
we-
Like
and
a
we
woman's
just-
like, I'm gonna
Well-
cook for him, I'm gonna clean for him,
But
I'm gonna do all this
guys
shit
do
for
that
him.
too, though.
Yeah,
for girls,
exactly.
you know,
Guys
because
always do that.
hey, I'm used to you.
I'm gonna pay for this.
I'm used to you paying for dinner. I'm used to you bringing me flowers every time on my birthday. You know, or
That's an
whatever.
expectation you're setting.
Exactly.
That's your problem, not the other person's.
And guess
Exactly.
what? And guess what? And when my woman actually cooks dinner for me or folds the laundry, I'm like, oh, there we go. There we go. I mean, if it makes you feel that much better, it's like,
Yeah.
look at that, man. She didn't have to do it because I do it all the time, or
Right.
I do this certain task all the time, and then she just says, guess what? I'm about to do this for him. It's like, oh, look at that.
So I've referred to Ace Metaphor. I played a little bit for y'all earlier. He talks about males' expectations of females wanting someone to cook, clean, and be a motherfucking porn star. So if you're not getting sex, maybe you should reevaluate the relationship. What are you bringing to the table? Are you bringing, solitude? Are you bringing...
Exactly.
What are you bringing if you're wanting all this expectation? Because a woman's job, if she's working a 9 to 5, 40 hours a week, you can't expect her to put in an additional 40 hours cooking, cleaning, taking care of the children, and having sex with you. Nah, bruh. Nah.
Guess
You
what?
fucking lost your damn fucking mind.
And guess what? If you are a reasonable individual as a guy, let's say that you're in a situation where your wife does not have to work, you do have kids, and
Where you have the traditional quote unquote.
guess what? She shouldn't have to worry about anything. Guess what? She knows for a fact that you love her and that you're going to be there for her. And you're always going to do anything and everything to make sure that she's comfortable.
But in that traditional marriage role, right?
Mm-hmm.
If one person, I'm not even going to say, male or female, but if one person is the breadwinner and the other person gets to take the home role, which being a homemaker, wife, husband, whatever, that's the toughest job in the world. I mean,
It is. Because guess what?
but
You're always
it's give and take.
you're
Hey,
you're battling mentally about
yeah.
oh shoot, am I giving enough? Am I receiving enough? I mean, I'm not sure what's going on right now. And guess what? Shout out to all those women or men who do that all the time.
So
Shout out to my wife.
what do y'all think about marriage and settling down? When is a man prepared to settle down and prepared to marriage? So Stephen, you're married. Pop, you're not. So Stephen, how did you know that you were ready to settle down, sow your oats? She was the one.
So in my situation, it was, I won't say it was easy per se, but it was one of those situations where that I knew for a fact that I loved her and I want to be with her. And when I was around her, I think she actually made me a better person. And I even told her that in my vows that she made me a better person and she saved my life. So I know when we got together, before we got married, we had our first son, and that, beyond anyone's belief, that was not the reason why we got married. It was a blessing in disguise. But with him and her, I was like, man, these guys are changing my life. And
Life couldn't be better.
yeah, it couldn't.
It couldn't get better than that.
It could.
Yeah.
And the reason why, because I was like you said, I was always out, going out to the bars, kind of partying or sleeping in. I was working hard, of course. I never missed work. I was never one of those guys to just miss work or anything like that. But when I met Rachel, it was one of those situations like, oh shit, I just want to make sure that I provide for her. And
Life was different.
whatever my future family is, I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that they're successful. I don't care how I am or if I miss out on anything or miss out going out with
It
anybody.
was different. Yeah.
Yeah, it was totally different. so.
Different. So you felt that difference.
Oh yeah, I immediately felt and like I said, she denied me. She denied
Go,
me.
Rachel. Yay, you.
I mean, we broke up before, and
Stiff arm.
yeah.
She was like, fuck you and your
Yeah.
fuckboy tendencies.
I mean,
Stephen before marriage.
Even though I did not have any fuckboy tendencies, I had the most at that time, the whole crew, the most
Y'all
lovable,
Y'all do.
marriageable tendencies.
You
out
do.
of everybody.
You do. When I say fuckboy, it's like on a scale of 1 to 10, you're a 1.
No,
Okay?
I'm not a 1.
A fuckboy tendencies?
No, I'm like a -10. I'm
Maybe a 1. Okay, moving on to Pop. Pop.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am a -10 on the fuckboy scale.
From a male's perspective. Anyways, Pop, what would you say?
I think I speak for a lot of guys when we want to be more financially secure, right? Then we can feel like, okay, now I'm ready to settle down. It's not more so, I found the right person. I mean, does that help? Obviously.
So if you found the right person and I made more money than you and you didn't have a job, would that make it difficult?
Me personally, that would not bother me.
But some men,
I know a lot of my
you would say
my
I'm
male
not
friends have,
okay.
have made that.
But what if I want to
made
be
that
your
comment.
sugar mama? What if I want that?
I'm okay with that. I will be your sugar baby. I'm saying, but me, that does not bother me because
Okay.
I think we both should bring equal parts, to this
Right.
to this wonderful
Equation.
union.
I will say, show initiative, and then show that the fact that, hey, yes, I want to contribute, but
there's
I would
always
prefer
ways you can bring value to the
be
table
your
other
sugar
than
mama or-
monetary,
Yes, exactly. Or
right?
I will do all these other things as long as you work hard.
Okay. Couple more questions. So how do you feel about filler, Botox, plastic surgery? Yes, no, maybe so.
I'm a no.
You're a no?
Yeah, I'm a no for the most part.
Okay.
Because
Ste-
God made you, that way for a reason.
Steven?
Why are you looking at me
Yes,
like
no,
that?
maybe so. Because I just want a quick, short response.
Oh,
like, yes,
no.
no, maybe so.
I'm
It's
a
a no?
no. I'm a no.
Do
Well,
y'all find me attractive?
Yeah,
You find me attractive?
Yeah.
I've had filler, Botox, and surgery.
I know. And
So-
how many times have I told you don't need that shit?
No, I don't need it, but would you not marry me for it?
That's two totally different questions, though.
I'm saying if you're for it or against it. Like if you're for it, you're for it. If you're not, you're not. Because most men say they're not for it, but then they want to fucking like all these Instagram models that have it.
See,
So
you're
you
reaching.
want-
You're reaching.
No. I'm not reaching. You say that you don't
Liking
love
and
it.
marrying are two totally different things.
I'm talking about you don't
I
want it
like
for your
this
girl, but
picture.
you like the photo. Why are you liking the photo when
I
they
also
have all the
like-
shit?
Lamborghinis. I'm not gonna go buy one,
Mm.
even if I could afford it. Like I said,
I'm just saying.
I'm going to be with you. It's got to be past the looks because
Right, looks aren't everything.
I've dated girls. I mean, that look like fucking 12s, and they just had no personality. I'm
Right.
like, I can't do this.
So I think it comes down to who are you doing this for? Are you doing it for you? Are you doing it for us? Are you doing it because you want to look better for yourself?
Yeah.
Or you want to look better for the Instagram models on Instagram? Right? That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Okay. Steven?
the question about you?
Yeah.
Nope.
No what?
I disagree with everything you've done.
With everything I've done?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's it. I told her the same thing. I'm like, you don't need that shit.
No one's ever talked to me before that, so we'll talk about that. Okay.
And my
Crazy.
caveat to you has always been whatever makes you feel happy.
Okay. Well,
Right.
no, that means that you do agree with it then.
In a sense, right?
Right.
Well, like he said, in a sense, it's in my sense is that, hey, I think you're beautiful the way you are, and I know for a fact. I mean, people may not know this, but you and I have gone back and forth about all this, like years and years ago.
Right.
And I told you all the time that you were always fine the way you were. Don't do anything. Don't do anything at all. And
she's hard headed. Everyone.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's kind of hard to say that you made changes or you made. It's tough.
I mean, I'm back to mostly natural.
You are
Mostly,
and I did,
and I had to reverse everything.
which kind of sucks. It's like in my head,
You spend all this money and then you reverse it. Yeah,
and it's like at the same time, it's like, well, I told you were fine,
right?
Because,
but I think that people have to figure that out for themselves, right?
So
it's hard to tell someone that how they should think of themselves.
So so let's take this to a whole nother level.
Okay.
Whole nother level, right? You said, yes, you think people need to figure it out for themselves, right? So how does that make that other person who had told them that they trust feel, that they did not believe? Because guess what?
1000% agree with that. I think that if I had a husband that loved me for who I was and they didn't want it, I would be okay with that. Versus I don't feel confident in my own skin because of who I am, because of what society tells me I am. There's a big difference in that.
But
because I've had breast implants.
Yep.
I took them, or I had a complication, had to get them replaced. Then I took them out. I'm happier with myself without breast implants than with.
And so in that same aspect, that was my biggest kicker.
Right.
When you start doing this stuff, it's like, who are you happy with? Who are you doing this for?
Transitioning from that. This is going to be a heated topic. I already know.
I can't wait.
Do you feel like you love unconditionally or with conditions? Is there such thing as unconditional? There's no conditions to my love. Or do you love conditionally?
Never.
You love conditionally?
Yep. There's no such thing as unconditional love.
But people say that, like, I love you unconditionally.
Ain't no way in hell.
The only unconditional love in this world is from your pets.
Or God.
Yep.
Or
That's
God, if you're
Very
spiritual.
good.
If you're spiritual.
If you're
Guess
religious,
what?
yes.
Guess what? You can have kids. Your kids can be a little.
Okay, yes.
You want to kill
And they
them.
love you unconditionally.
Pets and kids. Yeah.
No,
But my
nope,
fucking love comes with
nope,
motherfucking conditions.
Nope.
Because you ain't going to cheat on me. You ain't going to do this shit to me. You ain't going to put me through highs and lows and think that you're going to get unconditional love.
Even your kids ain't going to love you unconditionally.
They will.
No, they won't.
Yes, they will.
Your love for your kids is unconditional.
John,
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
John, you have kids?
No.
Hey,
Yes, you
I
do.
have cricket.
He's in the closet.
Don't
she's
tell
in it.
people
See?
that my dog is in the closet.
See?
PETA will be after me. First of all, that's a
See?
mansion to that dog, okay?
See?
She has a bed,
See?
water, and a puppy
See?
pad, and it's literally made for like 5 people.
See, the only love
PETA,
is
don't come for me.
FYI, just what she said. The only love is
She just barked during the podcast.
the only love is conditional love. That's the only love. I mean, because guess what? You gotta.
The only love is not conditional. Oh, never mind. Go ahead. I agree with you. Go ahead. I was about to be like, motherfucker.
She's going to backtrack in the same statement.
No, go ahead. It is conditional. It is conditional.
There is
It is
conditional in
conditioned. There's
every-
conditions because you're going to fucking love me with conditions. You're going to fucking come correct. You're going to fucking not cheat on me. And you're going to give me the best of you. That is conditions.
Hey, and you said that if you have kids, that love is unconditional. That love is conditional.
I think you love your kids unconditionally. Do you have conditions for your kids? You're going to tell your kids if you don't fucking do this right, I'm not going to love you?
I guarantee you. That's
Grayson, are you listening to this?
That's where you hit that.
Hey,
hairy
don't talk about my
line.
little nephew like that, man.
Hey, bro.
Don't talk about my little nephew like that.
Hey, man, those kids, man, man, you just want to choke them sometimes, right? Like,
Hey, love them boys, man.
like you said, when they get to 4, he's like, that's what I'm choking. But anyways, man. I mean, so the definition between unconditional and conditional is kind of it's simple.
It's a thin line, right?
It's simple, right? It's simple
Yeah.
in grand scheme of things,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Like when you think of it like a relationship thing, oh yeah, of course, right? Unconditional. It's like, oh yeah, if we already established all our ground rules, we're good. I love you, you love me, we're here. till the end of time.
But isn't even the whole state of matrimony, right?
Yeah.
You're laying out conditions, right? Through thick or thin, sickness or health. But those are conditions.
They are all conditions.
All conditions.
All conditions.
So,
Right? So,
Look at that.
all right. So, let's see. What other one do I want to? 2 more, and then we're done. Say,
No,
I guess.
we're not. Bring them all up.
We're almost on 2 hours. Well, this is separated into 2 podcasts.
This is
but
awesome.
what would you say early red flags for women if y'all were men? And you could point out early red flags that women should flee from if this happens in a relationship. Someone asked that.
Wow. That was a lot of words.
You get 3 or 4.
That was a lot of words.
If me as your friend came to you and said, "Hey, this is going on," so what would be your red flags that people should run from early on if they're coming to you?
hold
Pop,
on.
go ahead.
Are we laying the ground rules of we're in a relationship, or are we
Just early on, dating,
Early on.
whatever.
Okay,
Like if
early
you
on
notice
dating.
these things and I'm your friend and I'm coming to you and I'm saying these things.
All right.
So you're saying that? Oh man, this guy came to me. He said this to me. It's like, oh, yeah,
Whatever your red flags are, like
All right,
whatever
copy.
you think.
Copy,
I'm your
copy.
female friend and I'm coming to you and I'm like, "Hey, so and so said this and this is how it's going," and you're like, "Fucking red flag." No.
Yes, ma'am. I got it.
What would be 3 from each? 3, just 3. You can only pick 3.
I think
This is a pause. I'll let Pop go with this.
I think when dudes talk about themselves,
That's a red flag.
yeah.
Okay. Not letting the woman talk.
Yeah, because
Okay.
that's more I'm into me.
Okay. You don't want to know about me.
Right.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
That's a good one. That's actually, to me, that's one of the main ones when they talk
Yeah.
about themselves.
Yeah.
Because why in the hell be on a date, dinner, whatever with somebody and all you can talk about yourself?
Right. Okay. So that's number 1 for you. What's number 2 and 3?
This is a tough one. You should have gave us this question before. So
No,
gotta write
no,
stuff
we
down.
gotta fucking like go.
So this is first date, right?
Well, it doesn't have to be first date. It's just like
just early on dating.
early on dating.
That's what I'm trying to.
To me, this has to be first date, right? Because after first date, you kind of establish some ground rules.
Do you? Because people do, and they don't follow through.
Well, the nice.
It doesn't have to be
people do.
first. Like, so what about follow through? If someone's not following through, is that a red flag?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Okay.
a big one.
Yes.
Communication. They're not communicating with their needs. Is that a red flag?
Yeah.
Empty
well,
promises,
empty
yeah.
promises. Yeah, I was about to say empty promises.
Okay.
That's two.
Okay. So I gave y'all that. So we'll move on.
No, keep.
Why do we have to play these games? Why is there, I'm not going to text him for 3 days. Like, fuck that bullshit. I'm 35 years old. If I want to text you, I'm going to triple fucking text you. I'm going to quadruple text you. I'm going to, whatever the equivalent of 5 texts in a row is, I'm going to fucking text you 5 times in a row. That's just who I am.
Context. I mean, I guarantee you it's context that matters. So you just throwing all these scenarios at us right now. I mean, context. You gotta have context. And the reason why I say context, it sucks because it's like, who knows how that first date went?
Right.
How did that first date go?
Right.
And what were
you're
the ground
taking it
rules
as-
on that first date?
You're taking first date. We're not saying necessarily first date. It could be the
How are you
10th
taking
date.
it? How are you taking it?
Okay, so hold on, let me answer this to you. Okay, so the big thing now everyone talks about, right, is hey, we have to set boundaries, right?
Right.
Whether it's friendships, family,
Right.
anything, right? I saw someone put something like weak women don't have boundaries.
Mm-hmm. I think it goes back to
we just
societal norms.
We just don't follow them.
So I saw something that said,
Or strong women aren't weak. We set boundaries. I forgot.
set-
I wish
yeah.
I
So,
wish I could remember.
I
was
wrote
just
something
like,
down
that's
that
not right.
resonated with me, and it literally blew my mind. It said, "Attention is not love. Attachment is no connection, and the bare minimum is not effort." And I was like, fuck. Because I think that the attention that we get from men, sometimes we feel that's love because we want that attention.
Right.
And sometimes we get attached and there's no connection. And sometimes we allow the bare minimum that's really no fucking effort.
Right.
Actually,
But
you know
that's
actually
you not set.
That's boundaries.
You not setting your boundaries and abiding by that. You're like,
Is that desperate energy? If you don't abide by your boundaries? Is that going,
possibly?
well,
maybe?
I really like this person, so I'm going to cave on the boundaries?
So guess what? So in my head, when you get into relationships, is that you're always going to cave in on something that you don't agree on.
But we're not talking about getting in a relationship. We're talking about dating.
Even dating, right? Even dating. So what's the purpose of dating?
But the other person has to want it too, because I've
No. Answer the question.
I've liked a lot of people and they don't like me back.
Jonna, answer the question. What's the purpose of dating? What is the purpose?
Getting to know people.
Nope. Is that your purpose of dating?
My purpose of dating is to find my soulmate.
Exactly. So if you find your soulmate, so you're willing to start checking certain boxes, right? Right? Mm-hmm. So you're checking boxes. You say, hey, does he meet this category? Yes. No. No. Yes. Yes. No. No. Yes. So it comes up to you to say that, oh, damn, does he meet all my, my criteria to pursue this further? If he does, pursue it further. If he doesn't, nah.
Yeah, but it's not that easy for females. You can't just say no.
Well, you just said straight up that your whole purpose of dating is.
It is, but it becomes convoluted in the fact that I may get feelings for someone who may not be right for me, and then you want to make them right for you.
No, so that's. So, whose problem is that?
Mine.
She just said.
I want to make them right for me.
Exactly.
Yes,
right.
That's the
You
problem.
cannot do that.
Right, but it's hard when feelings are invested and involved. Yes, it is, Steven. You can't say that you haven't liked someone and been like, fuck.
I have. I will admit that. As a guy, yes, I have liked plenty of women who have not liked me back. Yes, I agree. But guess what? You know how long it took me to get rid of them? Short order. You know what it took?
Why does it take me years then? Because that's where we are.
and that's the kicker. No one's blaming you or no one's judging you or anything like that. But in my eyes.
But why do men always come back? Like, let's pretend, which
it's a
has
control
happened.
issue.
I've had a lot of men who, one recently that I dated, that was like,
because you allow him.
No, that's not. Let me. Okay, so for example, I had a guy that I dated that I really cared about, and he came back recently saying, you were very emotional and you communicated that well, and I hated it at the moment, but then I dated someone who literally was emotionally unattached, and I wished they would give me the communication you gave me. So I want to thank you for the communication you gave me. And they apologized and they thanked me for the communication because they didn't realize they wanted it until they had someone that didn't communicate.
Yep. And did you date him?
No, because it was once I'm done, I'm fucking done.
Hey, guess what? I have been that guy before. I swear to you.
Once you're done, you're done.
And you know what? And I accepted that, and I went about my way.
Because guys need to realize what you have in front of you. You don't have to have all these other options.
Straight up.
That works with girls too.
Right, right.
Straight up. And that's the kicker. So on that note, what I want to say is that, yes, it sucks as a woman, but it also sucks as a guy too. Because I've been in that situation.
Right.
The exact same situation where I left and came back and been like, you know what? They did the same damn thing that you just did. But guess what? I was like, shit. I actually loved you. Mm-hmm. But her? No.
But I think that's what makes us like, that's your person, right? Like, it's not going to work out for everyone.
It doesn't make you your person. It makes you understand yourself.
So also, like, we have to end this podcast soon because we're already at another hour. But I don't believe that.
Hour three.
I don't believe that. Now, I used to think that only one person had one soulmate on this earth, but now after I've like listened to things and listened to podcasts and like self-actualized, I think that a lot of people are compatible. I think that what makes a relationship special is that you choose to wake up every single day and choose that person.
Yep.
And you could wake up one day and not choose that person. And that's what's the work. You put in the motherfucking work and you choose that person.
Can I lay this too real quick? So my wife and I, are we perfect? We're not perfect. And I almost getting emotional thinking about it. Is that due to the fact that we have argued plenty of times, right?
Who hasn't, right?
Exactly, right?
It's healthy to argue.
It is. I don't think
Exactly.
anyone's perfect. And if you claim you're perfect, I think that's a problem.
Exactly. So the past few times, because she knows for a fact that, hey, I'm not an open guy, and B, she's always open. We're getting to the point where I'm more open, and she's letting me know more that, hey, this is how I feel. I mean, we argue sometimes, but our last argument, I mean, we let everything out. Ever since then, I guarantee you. I mean, dude.
But that goes back to Jay Shetty. Jay Shetty says that we're not meant to be here to be perfect.
No.
We're meant to argue, and how you develop in those arguments makes you who you are and makes your relationship what it is.
And my point is that I have never been an open guy, but she brought that out of me, and
that's beautiful.
And I love it, and I love her for it, and I will never, ever, ever hate her for it because I cannot stand.
Well, she's making you a better person.
She is. I mean, she is, man.
And that's why he married her.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
It's like.
So if y'all had to give anyone, women, because that's mostly my targeted audience, last bit of advice, like one thing of advice that you would give, dating, relationships, whatever you have it, what would you say? What would be the biggest piece of advice that you would give on the ending note?
I would.
Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead. You go first.
I'm not gonna lie. My biggest advice would be, and it's kind of easy when I say it, it's like hang in there. And when I say that, it's like, hey, don't settle for just anybody. I mean, just know your worth. Know your worth. Know exactly what you want for the long term. Yes, it's difficult to understand that right now. But at the same time, know your worth. And find that guy who's willing to go through those sacrifices to make sure that you understand your worth.
Okay. Good piece of advice. Pop, what is your...
I like that, Steve.
Yeah.
I say, ladies, the red flags that you ignore, or people in general, red flags that you ignore in the beginning are the reasons you actually end up leaving in the end.
Yeah, that's not false information. Trust your gut.
Trust your gut.
And your intuition.
Right.
You know what's right for you.
Exactly.
Right. And my advice is just to listen to yourself more, because I don't. So.
And it's hard.
It is when you're in the moment.
That boundary, because we want to see the good in people, right?
Right.
No one wishes ill upon anyone.
So
just find people that match your
because
energy.
there will always be temptation. There will always be someone better looking. There will always be someone who can offer you more. But again, who do you want to wake up to at the end of the day and fight for?
So I've thought about this before you invited us to this podcast, was that it's all about wants and needs, right?
Right.
Wants and needs. Hey, everybody wants like a Chris Hemsworth type of guy, right? Mm-hmm. Big muscular guy, looks, whatever. Do you really need that? What do you really need? What satisfies you in your life? So.
Yeah, agreed. 1,000%. Well, thank you guys so much for being on. Again, I should have fuckboys on, not gentlemen.
And Pop, slightly my gummy worm.
Snooze, you lose, man.
Y'all take care. And until next time, guys. Bye.